So, as you've seen from the intro, I am very fat, and I don't want to be anymore. Not only am I fast approaching the age limit for someone of my size, but I really want to lose weight because I want to go traveling next year. You see, this isn't actually a diet channel. It's a travel channel. At least it will be in the long run. That's the plan. At the moment, how do I put this? It's not that I'm too fat to travel. Technically I could, but it would just be so uncomfortable. There are so many disadvantages to being my size while traveling that I need to do something. It's inconvenient at nearly every stage of travel. Your clothes are bigger and weigh more, so you can't put as much in your suitcase. Plane seats are notoriously small for a regular sized person, let alone this. And once you're there, you're going to want to walk around and explore a place, and at the moment, I wouldn't be able to keep that up for a very long time. Which brings me neatly round to the subject of this video. We are thinking of going traveling sometime next year, so that gives me around a year to lose as much weight as possible to be as comfortable as possible. So I am going to do 12 monthly challenges, some to do with exercise, some to do with diet, to see how much weight I can lose over the course of the next year. Now, the initial challenge was going to be a 10,000 step challenge, 10,000 steps every day for a month. But realistically, I can't actually do that yet. I get really sore feet when I walk. Obviously, the big thing is, excess weight. But I like to think it's also because I have quite small feet for my size and high arches, which all leads to a lot of weight over a really small surface area. And that becomes really uncomfortable really quickly. To put a time scale on it, I can walk for about 15-20 minutes without pain. Half an hour, I'm really starting to feel it in my feet. Walking for an hour, and I'll be feeling it in my feet all day. And walking for 2 hours, I'll be feeling it in my feet all week. And just working it out with a calculator, realistically, to get my 10,000 steps, I would need to do about an hour and a half of walking every day. And I just could not keep that up. So what I'm going to start with is swimming. The great thing about swimming is that it is low impact, if there's any impact at all. So it is really kind to the knees and hips. And I don't know if you can hear this, but my knees could use some kindness. So I'm going to aim for at least 1 hour of swimming every day for a month. That may not sound like too much, but I think it's really important to keep these challenges as sustainable as possible. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So I think swimming, especially every day, is at a good level where it's far more exercise than I'm used to, but it's not so difficult that it will negatively affect the future challenges. And one last thing before getting on with this challenge is that I need a starting point. I don't know exactly how much I weigh. I know it's bad, but I don't know how bad exactly. So we'll do a weigh-in, we'll get some before photos, maybe calculate my BMI. That's not going to be good. Then I'll have a starting point to see if I can complete this challenge, and if so, how much weight I can lose in 31 days. Okay, so I have weighed in, and my starting weight is 31 stone and 10 pounds. That is 444 pounds, or just over 201 kilograms. This might sound a bit weird, but that was kind of a nice surprise. That's not the heaviest I've ever been. It's only 4 pounds shy of the heaviest I've ever been, but still, I'm trying to look at the silver linings. Now that I've got that first number, I just wanted to make a few real-world comparisons, just because some people don't weigh in very often, and it can be hard to picture exactly what 31 stone actually means. So after a bit of Googling, here's what I've found. So the average weight of a woman in the UK is 11 stone and 3 pounds. The average weight of a man in the UK is 13 stone and 7 pounds. So even adding those two together doesn't come close to my current weight. But what about in the world of sport? In boxing, to be classified as a heavyweight, boxing's largest division, you must weigh at least 200 pounds. Mike Tyson in his prime was 220 pounds. So I currently weigh 2 prime Mike Tysons. UFC gets a bit heavier again, their heavyweight class needing to be 265 pounds. Oh no, that's the maximum weight. Their heavyweight competitors are capped at 265 pounds. So I wouldn't be eligible for UFC because I am too big for their biggest division. By 180 pounds. What about something where the competitors are famously big, like sumo wrestling? According to Google, the average weight of professional sumo wrestlers in Japan's top division is 350 to 375 pounds. So I outweigh some of Japan's top sumos. You know, I did this comparison for other people to better quantify just how heavy I am, but I'm starting to realize I didn't know just how heavy I am. To actually get some comparisons of my weight, I have to leave sports behind and search the animal kingdom. So again, according to Google, 444 pounds would be the weight of a very healthy adult male lion or a silverback gorilla. I have to make changes. This is no way to live, at least for a human. Next, let's check my BMI. Your BMI, or body mass index, estimates your body fat based on your height and weight, giving a general indication of whether you are underweight, healthy, overweight, or obese. I bet I can guess where I fall. A healthy BMI scores around 18 to 25, with overweight scoring 25 to 30, and obese being anything over 30. I thought there used to be a category for morbidly obese, which was anything over 40, but they don't seem to use that anymore. I guess in their eyes, obese is bad enough. At that stage, it's time to make some changes already. Probably some advice I should have considered. Anyway, entering my details, my BMI comes out at 57. So I only need to half my BMI to get into the healthy range. Okay, finally, I'm just going to go over a few photos. These are going to be my before photos so that I can track my progress. But I'll point out a few problem areas that I'd like to improve as I lose weight. Starting from the front, the neck is clearly a problem area. I would like to have some form of chin. The breasts are significant. They will need to go. The largest issue by far is my stomach. That is gargantuan. I have large thighs. It's one of the areas I was going to point out for improvement. But in this picture, they're barely visible compared to the huge stomach. And the side view isn't doing any favors either. That is the most muffin top I have ever seen. Other than that, not too many additions on the side view. The arms are a bit flabby. I'd like to improve on that, but they are nowhere near my biggest problem. And finally, the back does reveal a few more issues. A few more rolls than I'd like. I've even got an extra one on the right hand side. Finally, my arse. Now, I'm not going to show you that, not just because I'm pretty sure it would violate some YouTube guidelines, but because it's an absolute mess down there. Trust me, I've seen it. I will not be the same. It's like looking at some Lovecraftian horror. It's actually something so terrifying, it's beyond description. How many arse cheeks do you have? 2? Ha! Amateur. I've got at least double that. It's safe to say this process has been pretty humbling, but hopefully that means the worst is behind me. I've now got my starting point. We can get going with the challenges and see what we can improve. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive. You can see me like Illuminati. You can see me like Illuminati. But I'm shining so bright, so bright. Don't come and try to share some of this light now. Give me a beat and I control it like a maestro. Okay, that is week 1 complete. 3 to go. At the moment, the challenge is still on. I've been swimming every day, 1.5 hours each time. At the moment, the biggest feeling is exhaustion. I am unbelievably tired. The swimming is obviously one of the causes of this. Another is the early mornings. Swimming plus the walk there and back takes around 2 hours, and to fit that around work, I'm forced to go in the early mornings. I am not a morning person, so getting up at 6 a.m. every weekday has been just a massive hit to the nads. But I have done it. 7 days ticked off. I'm trying to stay positive mentally. I keep telling myself that the more I go, the more I'll lose weight and the easier this will become. But after 1 week, it's not feeling any easier yet. I did run into a bit of a nasty problem early on. Chafing. Specifically, chafing of the peep. Even more specifically, chafing of the tip of my peep. I think I know what caused it. Usually when I wear swimming trunks, I would wear them around my waist. But currently I don't really have a waist. My belly is in the way. And I can't wear my trunks up on my belly because they seem to slip off really easily. So I have to wear them down underneath the extra mass. And wearing them down there creates just a little bit of space for the peep to move around. Meaning that as I swim, it just slightly rubs against the inside of my trunks. And when that keeps happening over time, it starts to feel like the lining of my trunks is grating away a very sensitive bit of skin. And I'm circumcised, so I don't have a lot of skin down there to lose. Now, I mentioned that this was a problem early on because I found that this mainly occurred when I did a particular swimming stroke, the breaststroke. My plan for swimming was to do 45 minutes breaststroke, 45 minutes front crawl. But something about the motion of the hips while doing breaststroke seems to encourage peep rubbing. Giggity. So I just stopped doing it. Now I stick to front crawl only. And while that is even more tedious, my peep is thanking me for it. Any other updates? Oh, I saw the Ted Lasso Season 4 trailer. I have concerns, but that's not really challenge related. Yeah, I think that's it. But I'm shining so bright, don't come and try to shed some of this light, no. Give me a beat and I control it like a maestro. Ladies on a mission, they be trying to get me wiped up. Shawty, wait a minute, can't tell if I like ya. Gotta make sure you know how to shake it like a... Week 2 is done, week 2 is done. Honestly, it was touch and go for a second there. I found this week really hard. My exhaustion has reached a new level. I am now perpetually tired. And yet my body clock is starting to adjust and naturally wake me up earlier, usually about 20 minutes before my alarm is due to go off, just long enough that I have no chance of getting back to sleep. So I've had quite a few mornings that start at 5:30 this week. That is not okay, especially as one of the mornings, the leisure centre where I go to swim didn't open. Apparently the guy who was meant to unlock the building went on holiday, and they forgot to cover him or something like that. So there I am, crack of dawn, waiting for the doors to open, and no one came. Waited for nearly 30 minutes, nothing happened, and I ended up just going home. Ended up going for a swim after work. It's funny with hindsight, but at the time... Shame! 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 I was not laughing. It doesn't take a lot for me to give up on a diet or exercise routine, and things like that, things that are out of my control, really shake my motivation. That's why I wanted to use this segment to praise a bit of equipment that I use while swimming, without which I'm sure I would have given up on the challenge already. That being my headphones. Part of the reason I'm doing this swimming challenge specifically is that my size limits what kind of exercises I'm actually able to do, at least regularly and comfortably. Swimming is about the only thing that I can do for extended periods of time without severe discomfort, at least at this stage of weight loss. And that means that my daily workouts don't have any variation at all. Even after this challenge has finished, I'm probably going to have to continue swimming because I haven't lost enough weight to make other exercises viable options. And that constant repetition can get incredibly dull, which is where my headphones have been a savior. They turn a boring workout into an activity that I actually enjoy, meaning that I'm all the more motivated to continue. Just for the record, this is not a sponsored video. the model that I bought isn't actually available to buy at the moment. But if you're thinking about doing some swimming, I highly recommend getting something similar. What you're looking for are bone conduction headphones. These are headphones that transmit sound using vibrations. These vibrations travel through the bones of the jaw and face to the inner ear. As an added bonus, while in water, the transmission is amplified, so they're actually clearer and louder while swimming. They rest over the ear, so they're very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. And as no part of them is inside your ear, you have great awareness of ambient noise, making them really safe while walking around. However, not all bone conduction headphones are made equal. If you're interested in getting some, there are two key features to look out for, especially if you're going to use them for swimming. Number one is a built-in memory card. Headphones with this feature tend to have two modes: Bluetooth, where it's connected to your phone or laptop, and memory card mode. For this mode, you upload songs to its inbuilt memory card. I definitely did not use YouTube Converter to do this. After that, once that mode is selected, it will cycle through all of your chosen songs. This feature is really important for swimming because Bluetooth connection doesn't tend to work underwater. Something about the radio waves being absorbed, even at shallow depths. So yeah, inbuilt memory card, very important. The second feature is a bit of a sneaky one. You need to make sure that the headphones you go for are IP68 or IPX8 waterproof. I bring this up because a lot of bone conduction headphones say that they're waterproof, but actually mean water resistant. The difference being, water resistance headphones will survive getting wet on a surface level, but cannot survive being submerged. And funnily enough, if you plan to wear these headphones while swimming, they will get submerged. Let's look at an example on Amazon. So here we have the Shox Open Run bone conduction headphones. They have lots of reviews, they're very highly rated, and they're IP67 waterproof. Everything you're looking for, right? Wrong. When we have a check of their promotional material, we can see that they're not actually fully waterproof. Superior water resistance against excessive sweat and light rain, not for swimming. Very misleading in my opinion. When I bought mine, I didn't know to look out for it. I just got lucky that I picked the right type. But if you're looking for swimming headphones, make sure that they are actually waterproof. Anyways, as I've said, if you're thinking about undertaking a swimming challenge or just want to do some swimming casually, I cannot recommend this type of product enough. They have saved this challenge more times than I can count, and I've only been doing the challenge for 2 weeks. Now, on with week 3.
Team with me and they all winners. And you know we ballin' all winter, all summer. Jewelry around my neck is lightning, but I'm all thunder. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it.
Okay, week 3 is done. Physically, I am still feeling it, but I think I'm getting used to the early mornings, at least a little bit. I'm not happy getting up at that time. I don't think I'll ever be a morning person in that sense, but it's starting to feel normal. And that's a huge improvement from only a few weeks ago. The big news of the week is that for the first time in this swimming challenge, I've been able to actually capture some footage of myself swimming. No B-roll for this guy, I actually have proof. Well, a little proof. I only recorded some of one session. It's more of a proof of concept. A few reasons for the limited swimming footage. Firstly, I only just got a waterproof camera. I didn't want to risk my phone getting knocked into the water, so I held off until I got this. No, it's not a GoPro. I believe the term for it is a budget-friendly alternative. But it does the job. It seemed to get some great video. The only time the visuals were questionable was when I splashed the lens. So it was user error rather than a fault of the camera. The main reason why the swimming videos are so limited is because of the difficulties getting permission to film. I swim in a public pool, and for obvious reasons, they are very strict when it comes to filming. And I get it. It's usually full of people, all of whom are wearing limited clothing to some extent, and who haven't given their permission to film. The only way that I was allowed to film in this public pool was by booking a private lane, the cost of which was not covered by my monthly membership. For comparison, my swimming membership is about £35 a month, and that covers unlimited swimming whenever the pool is open. To rent a private lane for an hour cost me £30, or 28 something, but the point is that I can't afford to do that regularly. So all the swimming footage you see is going to come from the same session. I will try not to use anything twice. It's interesting watching the video back. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to see myself swimming from an outside perspective. And now that I've seen it, it was pretty eye-opening. I thought the initial weigh-in and the before photos were humbling, but this took it to a whole new level. Like, I know I'm a plus-size model, and that causes me to be quite ploddy when it comes to moving around. But there was a part of me that thought I'd be a little bit more dignified in the water. Something about being submerged and the buoyancy taking over. The water would allow me to be a bit more graceful. Still fat, but graceful. Like my spirit animal, the humble manatee. But having reviewed the video, I did not see a lot of grace. There's a lot of folds and jiggling and some angles I'm not even sure I can show you without blurring them out. I mean, look at that. That is straight up filth. Still, the point of the swimming clips wasn't to show off my fine physique. It was to prove that I was actually going. Just to finish off, one detail I did notice recently while swimming was that I can't sink. My body, or the fat in my body, is so buoyant that I can float without moving at all. I noticed it when I kick off a wall. I'll extend my body, stay perfectly still, and then I'll start rising up until I break through the surface like a submarine. This isn't really causing me any issues at the moment. I do have to be careful not to drop anything because I would not be able to collect it. But I am wondering what it's going to be like once I've lost the weight. Am I going to have to relearn how to swim? I know it sounds crazy, but at the moment I have essentially a giant armband keeping me afloat. Once that is gone, will I still be able to swim? Questions for another day. I've now got just over a week until the challenge is complete. The way the days work out, there's 31 days this month, so I have about 10 days left. And I am so looking forward to not only completing this challenge, but to seeing how much weight I've been able to lose.
Keep coming with it, place your bets on us, get your money and flip it. Bring a friend and come along. Don't be taking too long. The vibe's too strong. If you don't know how to move, then we moving on.
It is over. It is done. 31 days of early mornings, unyielding fatigue, and a pain in my rotator cuff has not gone away since about day 6. I have successfully gone swimming every day for the past 31 days and can chalk up this challenge as passed. In the past month, I have clocked over 46 hours of swimming. That is insane when you think about it. Last month, I was basically not exercising. This month, 2 of the 31 days were taken up by exercise. And in that time, I estimate that I have swam around 70 kilometers. And that may sound like a lot. Well, it is a lot. But I think it's quite a conservative estimate. I do one 25-meter length roughly every minute. I'm slightly faster than that, but I'll stick with that number to make the maths easy. So, 25 meters 90 times in an hour and a half means that I swim 2,250 meters per day, or 69,750 meters in the month. If you told me last month that I'd be swimming 70 kilometers, I would not have believed you. I would have guessed that it would take me years to do that. And here we are, 31 days later, and I have done it. While morbidly obese, no less. And while the challenge was to swim every day, the overall goal has always been to lose weight. So there is one last metric to measure. Remember, I started this process at 31 stone and 10 pounds. So, let's see what I was able to lose. Come on! I've been reeling and fish from the lake. They keep saying I'm down to earth, but I'm really out of space. All these women aliens, super foreign, so exotic, hopping the Mercedes Benz. And I got them crushing like ice pouring above. It's overflowing on us. You drop it and pick it up. I think I'm falling in love. Wow. I honestly did not expect that. I worked out midway through this challenge that if I lost 4 pounds a week for a year, I'd get down to a really comfortable weight, somewhere in the high teens. And while there would still be more weight to lose to reach my final goal, I think it would be enough that I could travel comfortably. I wouldn't be worried about fitting into chairs or asking for the seatbelt extension. So having now weighed in after challenge 1 and finding out that I have lost 28 pounds, nearly 7 pounds a week, I can't believe it. I can't stop smiling. I'm so happy. Now, I know that it's a long road ahead, and I will not lose that much weight for every challenge. But that's such a good start, and I was so worried it was going to be for nothing, and it's such a relief. 28 pounds. That's the weight of 4 babies in a month. There is one last thing just before I go. At the end of each month, I'm going to evaluate the challenge. To do this, I've decided on 3 criteria: difficulty, convenience, and effectiveness, that I will use to determine if I recommend the challenge to you. Difficulty first. So, this challenge was not easy. It was a huge step up in exercise, and I have been flagging a lot in the past month. However, I think it's doable. I bet a lot of you are thinking that you can't continuously swim for that long every day. Give it a chance. Start with a smaller goal, as small as 2 lengths, and then take a break. Another 2 lengths, take a break. Before you know it, it'll be up to 4, then 10, and pretty soon you won't be counting lengths at all. You'll just be swimming for the entire session. I think the key to making this challenge sustainable is to go at your own pace. Don't try and keep up with anybody, just go slow and smooth, and I swear to you, you will be surprised at just how much you can achieve. I know I was. On a difficulty scale, 1 being impossible, 10 being easy, I'm going to give this a 7. Next, convenience. Now, just by its nature, swimming isn't the most convenient exercise, simply because you need a pool to do it. Not a lot of people have their own pool, and even though public pools are available, then you have to think about other things like cost and travel time and fitting it around work. When I wasn't doing this challenge, there have been months where my swimming membership went completely unused, and those little inconveniences turned into excuses for skipping a session. It's not awful overall, but it's not that convenient. I'll give it a 4. And finally, effectiveness. I wanted to lose weight, and I lost truckloads. But there are other little things that I've noticed. Things like I used to get very out of breath when climbing stairs. That doesn't tend to happen anymore, or it takes a lot more stairs. And I think my clothes feel a little bit more loose. I haven't really noticed any physical changes, but it's nice to feel more comfortable in my clothes. For effectiveness, I'm going to give this challenge a 9 out of 10. I am really happy with the results. I would have given it a 10. I'm holding off just in case there's something else that is even more effective, but I doubt that's going to happen. With a score of 20 out of 30, I am happy to confirm that if you are looking to lose weight, I highly recommend trying to swim every day for a month. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. The next challenge is going to be a restricted calorie challenge, so keep your eyes open for that one. And till next time.
Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it, yeah. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it.